But yeah, man, let's talk about AEW moving all out to the
Okay.
afternoon. So it was announced that 17 days out, I believe, from the show, that they are moving because WWE obviously has WrestlePalooza going on, their first show on ESPN, and Tony Khan decided to
Oh, that
move
reminds
this
me.
to the
That reminds me.
afternoon. And on the first look at it, I did not like it. I figured like they're going to keep counter programming you. At some point, when are you going to stop running? You got to fight these niggas eventually. Like they moved around for All In. They announced 3 months in advance that they were doing it. At an earlier time because they already knew, and I don't even think it really affected anything. And quietly, WWE's failed so badly they lost their NBC, kind of deal after that. Um, and it kind of hurt them more than it actually hurt AEW seemingly. On my I think I'm looking at this more from an ego and a wanting to take the fight to them perspective, maybe than Tony Khan is at this point. Because I don't know, maybe I'm just built different. It's like if I gotta walk home and I gotta have a fight eventually, I'm only gonna walk around the extra mile to avoid the fight for so long. Like one of these days we got to thump. And it's just like obviously you're disservicing the live ticket crowd possibly who the travel in Toronto, you're doing it early, people got to rearrange flights and all that shit. But I saw Brian and Dave having a conversation about it, and I thought Brian has some pretty good points talking about what AEW fan is actually not going to, if they went head to head, what AEW
hmm
fan was actually not going to buy the pay-per-view and watch WrestlePalooza instead? Like, would there be a single one?
I mean, there's always some overlap because it's pro wrestling. Uh, is it? Do I think it's gonna affect like? I think at the most it affects like 5,000 pay per view buys,
Mm-hmm.
and that don't mean that like 5,000 they're gonna miss out on 5,000 pay per view buys. I mean like there are five then people to be like those are possible change your mind type thing. But for me, it's like so I was like, well, if this was any other event outside of WWE that is going to pull attention away, it's best to just move it. And also, like, you're moving it up earlier, and like, there's no outside of it being doing it so late. There's no downside to moving it up early in time on the same day. Like all like we just went to Texas for All In Texas. I was in Japan a couple years ago for all the different wrestling shows, and like those weekend shows, like instead of it being local time 8, is local time like 4, and then you get out, and then like the sun might still be out or is just getting out. It's honestly as a attendance situation, it's such a better experience, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, obviously, when it comes to Japan, like they're very, very, very like cognizant of we got to get this show over with and get people out of the building in time for them to make the train in Tokyo, right, or the next train. But like think about WrestleMania 35 and when they ran super long, they ran to like 12:25, 12:30 a.m. in the morning, and then like it started raining, and then like people missed their train back, and it was like the last train back. Like so, from, from my perspective, it's like it don't really cost them nothing. As you mentioned, it's just an ego thing or whatever. It's like for me, it's like, are you running a business or are you in a dick measuring contest? And obviously, at this point, when Tony Khan's, said what he said about, I'm the real Khan or whatever else, there's some of that, but it's like, I just don't see, I don't really see it as a fight. I don't see it as a thing. It's like, if they wanna go out there and put on a show after the last thing happened and backfired in their face, let them go out there and let them go tussle with Miami versus Florida, on that same day.
Yeah.
Florida Miami versus Florida is probably has a great chance to be a really good chance to be a top 10 matchup, and um, that's gonna happen on the ESPN watch. ESPN ain't gonna be happy with the numbers it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Have at it. And if you are a one of the people like us that have a possibility of watching both shows, you mean to tell me you're gonna watch AEW and they version of wrestling? If you're into both, you and give them and work them in good faith, right? You're gonna watch AEW wrestling for 4 hours or whatever else. It's more. It would be shocking if it's not the better show. Watch WWE wrestling, and then be like, it does. WWE is gonna be all. It's gonna be a big L. They're gonna take a big L on it, all of it. So like, for me, it's a lot of Wile E. Coyote. It's more Wile E. Coyote. It's like you fell into the counter programming booby trap, and now y'all finna look bad again. I think Tony Khan might get a kick out of embarrassing these niggas in this way. Like, oh, you think you're going to counter program me? Oh, nope, you been outsmarted again. Now you got to put on a show that no one's going to watch, or we're going to shit on it, and it's going to get bad, press or bad ratings, and it's going to reflect poorly on you.
I think I just want to see Tony Khan live up to this thing where he was talking about, he's not going to take this shit, and he's got more money than Jim Crockett, and actually taking the fight to him. I don't know if he feels woefully prepared for this, because I feel like just the next counterpunch to this is like, okay, you move your time, we're going to move our time too, or we're just going to invent some shit out of thin air and keep counter programming you. The only thing is, like, with their counter programming, it seems like they want to like put their foot in and not do it all the way. Yeah, they're doing Cena versus Brock Lesnar, and they're bringing out fucking AJ Lee. I know we haven't talked about AJ Lee in many years on this fucking show, right? If you guys think
be doing passing a barrier.
If you guys think that I was ever hard on Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss, who do you think started it all? AJ Lee. That's the grandmother of all of these, the smaller heel women in WWE that like I have just thought were absolute nothings when it comes to pro wrestling. It started with her, but now they're doing this, and obviously there's the connection with, oh yeah, this person who is this advocate and all this is returned on the same show as Brock Lesnar and all that. That's a whole nother discussion, and it's very fucking fed right now. AJ Lee.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Because she yelled at because she buried Jerry Lawler being a pedophile before?
There's a whole, and she got like a whole book. I think she has some foundations or something like that. It's been very vocal in the past or whatever.
I have not kept track of AJ Lee post wrestling.
Yeah.
Why would I?
But
wish her the best, but
yeah,
I was interested in her as a pro wrestler.
And look, man, the bad thing is I can't even really like go crazy on AJ Lee like this.
Hold on, DJ. Pause the record, DJ. Didn't AJ Lee date Jay Lethal?
Yes.
Was there a severe age gap?
I was not there.
Okay, we can.
Lost my train of thought now. Oh, see, the thing about AJ Lee now, I can't even really go really hard on her, because it'll be like, yeah, man, you don't like her because she's married to CM Punk. I'm like, look, man, this is pro feminism. She earned this on her own, years ahead of time.
Not even that. Be like, look, you got plenty of content out. Like, Rich was a big CM Punk fan from 2012 through 2014. While that was happening, guess who he wasn't a fan of? AJ Lee. So you can't even pull that up, because we can just go to the database.
Yeah. So
that ain't hard to do.
Yeah. Like, I thought she stunk majorly. We've taken a left turn here now, but let's get the car back. I don't know. I just look at it like, I feel like this is never going away. And where does it end? And is this just the new reality now that you have to deal with? And people are citing, it helped All In do well, but do you have like an attraction, on par every month to sell the way you did All In? You're not always going to have, a huge heel title run thing. You're not always going to have Swerve and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. You're not always going to have Kenny Omega versus Okada 5. Like, you're not always going to have all these things lined up every month. Now, WWE's obviously the show quality thing is not, because I've had people reply to me and stuff on that, think I'm talking about show quality and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm talking about stuff that people want to buy. Like, talking about assets.
WWE just had its first, WWE just had like its second non-trash pay-per-view of the year just this weekend. So no, it ain't about show to show versus as far as quality. No, and
So,
critical acclaim. No, it ain't that at
but
all.
I don't see a reason why AEW would actually want to fuck with WWE shows. We've never seen AEW want to intrude on a day that WWE is doing anything really. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so they've really always been in response. Like they wanted it to originally be Tuesday Night Dynamite when nothing was on Tuesdays. TNT was like, actually
Right.
no, the NBA's there. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be Wednesdays. So what does WWE do? They yank it from the network and move it back a day. And like we're going with USA Network on national television on Wednesdays head to head. AEW kicks their ass for a year and a half or whatever and wins
Mm-hmm.
that. They're still being counter programmed to this day by like just smaller things just to fuck with them. Like in
Yep.
essentially like
All the,
that
like
evolved
all the
and
what used to be called takeover level stuff for NXT. Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff. And then the Saturday night's main event's been the latest thing. They've always like tried
Mm-hmm.
to lower the stakes to really so like you notice they haven't put Roman Reigns on any of these shows or Cody Rhodes or anything. Like Cena and Lesnar, that's like a nostalgia match. I personally I wouldn't be afraid of John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, like with what and putting it on at the same time. And the thing that I saw in the comments and we talked about earlier, that first ESPN stream, that shit's gonna be a disaster. Who knows if the service works? Who knows about finding the service? Obviously, you're gonna have to train the audience on that.
Mm-hmm.
People
Turnover. Yep.
are probably still under the impression that this is going to be on regular ESPN, just the way this shit has been written about and I don't know. It's like I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a rude awakening that day of people trying to find the show. I guarantee there will be stories about people like, I didn't know where it was at. It happens every
Yeah.
time.
Yep. And also older fan base, so less technologically aware. So that's definitely going to happen. Yeah.
And AEW actually also are moving their or not moving. They announced in addition that now their pay-per-views are on Max for $40. So if you have a Max subscription already, I believe it's 40. I think a standalone might be I didn't look at all the details or anything, but you can get the
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-views through Max now as well. So
So
like
is there any chance that like they're going to start like having Excalibur and Taz and Shivani and Nigel McGuinness start being like regular pay-per-view is this much, it's 50, but if you now use
Max,
HBO Max is
you get
40,
you get the
and
10.
only a dumbass would not go with HBO Max. Like how remember how they used to do that with the network with JBL or whatever
Yes.
else, boy. And
Those are
now
the
it's
good
like,
old days.
wait, y'all, these niggas finna pay what for pay per views now?
Yeah.
After we was getting it just for the monthly network price, or now the Peacock price, now it's gonna be oh no,
Yeah.
a pay per view buy rate's gonna be boo boo.
Yeah.
Except for WrestleMania and
Yeah.
like Royal Rumble, and maybe SummerSlam.
And the
But
thing is, like,
outside of that, they finna be boo boo.
and the thing is, like, they already made their money because they sold them shits in a package to a network. So it's like they don't really they count, but they don't. But
Right. Right. Like it don't matter. You already got your money, ESPN, but it's like, all right, that deal ends eventually, and
Yeah.
then what you gonna do?
find the
You
next
gonna find
sucker.
another sucker.
That's
Don't
all
make
they
you go
do.
Find the next sucker.
That's all they do, bro. That's all they fucking do. So like, I guess I
Not
look
for
at
them, but I'm saying that well's gonna run dry, and like that's the issue of like, NBC or like ABC, not ABC, the NBA, and like, these shows gonna be on Peacock and NBC, and it's also going to be on ESPN and ABC. It's also going to be on Amazon Prime. It's like when this contract is over, you get your money now. What's going to happen when these contracts are over? The next TV deal.
yeah.
Like there's only so many suckers available.
I guess I just
The
look
only
at
people,
it.
it seems like the only sports property that people are happy with is NFL these days.
I would say the only thing I'm thinking about is like this feels like The Wire, and it's like they telling Bodie to go on that independent block essentially, or turn your territory over. It's like, are you gonna bow down and basically bow down before the Fed like the West Side Connection, or are you gonna fight these niggas? And I think eventually you're gonna have to figure out it's time to fight these niggas. Like you gonna look up. And you got to figure it out because otherwise you're going to be like, okay, I'm glad WWE could tell us what time we could run our shows. Like, I'm glad the Fed made that decision, of what time of day we are going to watch AEW,
I get what you saying, but in your analogy, Bodie got fucking killed. He didn't get to live to tell to get the rest of the series. He got popped in the alley, left for dead, and shot executed in the back of the head. Like I get it. It was it's really it meant something that he stood for something, but like he stood on business till he could no longer stand because something went through his brain and rendered him dead. You know, it's and I'm not saying look, I'm not concerned about that. I don't think it's that dire for AEW that if they're gonna fight the big bad Fed that they'll get killed because they got TV contracts. That's not a problem. But for me, it's like I don't see it as much sweat. Like it just seems like a how do I say this? Like you said earlier, ego. Like if you
It's
want to
absolutely
be
an
on
ego
that,
thing.
sure. For me, it's like I don't care one way or the other. And also, it honestly is more beneficial to me if it is earlier.
Hmm. So
So
like,
like even
like
so maybe
I
even so
understand it.
maybe I don't see this because like selfishly I'm like, please go earlier, fine, like great. I don't have to hear Josh Smith complain about these fucking AEW reviews going so long. And it's like you're always 4 hours, man. Like stop.
Yeah,
Why?
like
Why are you
there
acting?
will still
Why are
be
you
the
acting
same
like?
length show. It might even go longer, James, because he might let this shit run a little long just to fuck with them now, like just how he did
Good,
All In or whatever. So like, it ain't gonna make the show no shorter. Like,
right? Yeah, like it don't bother me. Like I just if y'all want to start these pay-per-views earlier so that like I can be able to do something afterwards, get something to eat afterwards. Fine by me. Fine by me.
look,
I consider that a win.
one day, TK, you gonna walk your ass in a straight line home, like. Like you gonna fight them
Uh,
niggas, bro. You gonna
you gonna fight
stand
them
up. You
niggas.
gonna stand on your money, on your wallet, that $1 billion wallet, and you gonna say, "All right, let's set it off." You know. So
I mean, I don't think we'll have to worry about these things when like Tony Khan buys WWE for like in an auction in like 10 years. So we'll be fine.